Hey everyone, welcome to the Darkest Dungeon. I'm pretty excited to be playing this. I've played it for not very long, maybe about an hour or so, and watched some other people play it, just to get a sense of a little bit of the game, but I have not played it all the way through, or even most of the way through, or seen people do that. So I don't totally know how it's going to go, but from what I can gather, it's a pretty hard game, and there's a decent chance it'll be pretty, basically going to get crushed by the game. So I think that'll kind of be fun. A little interesting to try something where there's a pretty good chance going into it we won't even win. But if we do get through it, I think it'll be pretty exciting. Kind of what I know about the game so far, basically you build these, you build this stable of heroes, and you try to get groups of the heroes together to go out on missions, basically. And the missions are pretty hard. You fight, and it's turn-based, and if any of the characters die, they die permanently. So it's a little like XCOM or some of the games like that in that respect. I think the missions are kind of random, so a little roguelike. And I think the idea is you get attached to your heroes, and then when they die, it's really hard, and so that kind of gives a little bit of difficulty to it. So we're going to get playing. There's a tutorial we'll go through. I'll try to explain what I understand so far, but I imagine that pretty quickly we'll be kind of learning on the fly together. So we'll try to figure it out. The last thing I want to say, so the characters we're going to get in our stable of heroes, you can name them. So if anyone wants me to, has any ideas for names they want to use, wants me to name a character after them, or any other name, just go ahead and throw it in the comments. We'll go ahead and do that. Hopefully your character will live, but I guess if it dies, he or she dies, then it'll be even more dramatic. Because we'll have lost you or whoever else you chose to use the name from. So yeah, just go ahead and leave the comments here. Don't worry about where we are in the series. As long as we're still going, we'll go ahead and use the name. So with that, go ahead and get started. I think first I'm going to show you guys the intro, and then we'll get started on setting up the campaign, and you can watch the video for the campaign. We'll get into the tutorial mission. We'll go from there. Okay, check this out.
Ruin has come to our family. You remember our venerable house? Opulent and imperial, gazing proudly from its stoic perch above the moor. I lived all my years in that ancient, rumor-shadowed manor, fattened by decadence and luxury. And yet I began to tire of conventional extravagance. Singular, unsettling tales suggested the mansion itself was a gateway to some fabulous and unnameable power. With relic and ritual, I bent every effort towards the excavation and recovery of those long-buried secrets, exhausting what remained of our family fortune on swarthy workmen and sturdy shovels. At last, in the salt-soaked crags beneath the lowest foundations, we unearthed that damnable portal of antediluvian evil. Our every step unsettled the ancient earth, but we were in a realm of death and madness. In the end, I alone fled laughing and wailing through those blackened arcades of antiquity, until consciousness failed me. You remember our venerable house, opulent and imperial. It is a festering abomination. I beg you, return home, claim your birthright, and deliver our family from the ravenous, clutching shadows of the darkest dungeon.
Oh, so good. The writing there is just like ridiculously good. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and make a campaign. I'm definitely going to go with the radiant difficulty here. From what I could tell, yeah, it says here that the radiant campaign, I think the biggest difference is it's not as long, and I don't know how long this game is, but my guess is it's pretty long. I guess it does say it's a little easier, but they also suggested for the first time we do a playthrough, so that's what we're going to do for our first time. Darkest here, it says it's original. There's no time limit to win. but it is longer and more challenging. And then Stygian or Stygian, it says here, expect no quarter, no forgiveness. You must conquer the evil within a time and hero death limit. So, yeah, we're definitely not ready for that, and I actually think starting off with the shorter version is probably the right thing for us until we even know kind of how the game works and if we have a shot at beating it. So here, we'll go ahead and give their campaign here a name and get going.
You will arrive along the old road. It winds with a troubling serpent-like suggestion through the corrupted countryside, leading only, I fear, to ever more tenebrous places. There is a sickness in the ancient pitted cobbles of the old road, and on its writhing path you will face viciousness, violence, and perhaps other damnably transcendent terrors. So steel yourself, and remember there can be no bravery without madness. The old road will take you to hell, but in that gaping abyss, we will find our redemption.
Oh, so good again. Okay, the old road. With the stagecoach destroyed and the caretaker gone, you will have to make the journey to the hamlet on foot. So this is going to be the tutorial mission. I think the idea here is we're just arriving into town. We were on this stagecoach and it fell apart, basically, and so we're going to go through a tutorial. Okay, so map navigation. You're currently in a room. To move forth, click on another room on the map display. This will take you to a connecting hallway. So first, a little bit about what I know. So these are our two characters right now, Reynard and Dismas. Reynard is a crusader, and Dismas is a highwayman. They each have 4 abilities. We can go through these in a bit, and they can kind of move backwards and forwards. When we actually get into combat, it's turn-based. The order the characters are in and the order your opponents are in aren't going to matter, but they will matter. But we'll get into that when we get there. And then the last thing is there's this mechanic around how much light you have with your torch, which we'll definitely come across. It's sort of the more light you have, kind of the easier things are. But you have to use torches, which are a scarce resource to bump up the light. So this is the map of where we are. We're in this room here. You navigate between rooms through hallways. Here's another room. So we're going to go from this room to the other room.
Brigands have run up these lanes. Keep to the side path. The hamlet is just ahead.
So hallway movement. While in a hallway, press D to move forward, A to move back. If you prefer the mouse, you can click ahead or behind the party. So we're just going to go ahead and move through this hallway. You'll see kind of down here our torch is where we are. It'll move towards the room over here as we move. But we may not make it all the way without bumping into something. So that's, yep, here we go.
Dispatch this thug in brutal fashion, that all may hear of your arrival.
So kill the enemy. Combat is turn-based. On your hero's turn, click a skill icon and then click on a highlighted target. If you can't select a particular skill, it's because that hero needs to be standing in a different spot or there are no valid targets. I'm going to explain a little bit about what I understand about this so far. Mouse over the skill to see the requirements. Okay, so it's turn-based. Dismiss has the first turn. This kind of goes back and forth. It's a little random in terms of the order. You can already see our light's gone down. When I first showed it to you, it was at 100. Now it's at 88. Still all pretty good. It's pretty full. Okay, so some of our abilities here. So we've got Open Vein, which is a melee attack. It's got an accuracy base of 95, but a damage modifier of minus 15%. So 95% chance to hit, base chance to hit, 15% less damage than normal, but it applies bleed with a 100% chance, which is 2 points of bleed damage per round for 3 rounds. And then it also debuffs the target, makes them less resistant to bleed in the future, and also -1 to SPD, which is speed, as I gather. So the most important thing here to figure out is the positions. So you'll see the white or yellow dots here on the left. There's 4 possible positions for each character. This says that he could use Open Vein as long as he's in the first 3 positions. And then on the right is our enemies, and there's 4 dots for the enemies. The 2 red ones that are filled in says he could only use it on people standing in the front. And so what you'll see is for pistol shot here, which is a ranged attack. He can't use it on the front position, but he can use it on all the back positions for the enemy. So that's why this is grayed out and we can't use it, because there's only one enemy. And then Grape Shot Blast, you'll see actually the 3 front positions are filled in with red, but they're connected. So this actually attacks every enemy in all those positions. Less useful now. And then there's a tracking shot ability. Yes, less useful now just because there's only one enemy. And then he has a tracking shot ability, which again he can't use because this guy's in the front. So we could open vein on this guy, which would have a 90% chance to hit, a 5% chance to crit, and do 4 to 8 damage plus the bleed. Looks like this is a brigand cutthroat with 12 HP. Or we could use the Grape Shot Blast, which would only do 2 to 4 damage. So you can see it's a lot weaker, although if there were 3 people we were hitting, it would help. So I'm going to go ahead and do Open Vein. We're going to try and hit this guy, take some damage off him, and start him with some bleeding. He's got 12 HP. Just did 8, so pretty straightforward. A lot of damage. Takes 2 damage per round. Here, he just took it on his turn. Now he's attacking us. Oof, 4 damage for us. So you can see. Okay, so Crusader, we've got a Smite attack, like a melee, just hit him heavy. Accusation, a ranged, hit the front 2 positions. Stunning Blow, this does only a quarter damage, minus 75% to damage, but it has a stun. And then Bulwark of Faith, Torch plus 20, so light up the torch, mark yourself, and then buff yourself with plus 25% protection. So we're just going to go knock this guy down with Smite. 6 to 12 damage if we hit.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
So, you know, pretty easy there, but it's just the tutorial battle, so obviously not what we're really going to be facing. Loot. Each item, if you take it, will occupy space in your inventory. Mouse over items to show details about them. This works in your inventory too. Alright, so we got some gold. Gold creases palms, builds empires, and instigates murder. I love the language in this game. So good. Alright, so we're going to keep on moving. Pop open the map here, you can see we're still moving. That little number that just popped up is stress. We'll talk about that later, but basically I took a little stress walking around here, and stress is not good. Interactive objects curios. While exploring, you will also find interactive objects. Click or press W to investigate them. Take a look at this tent. So here's a tent. Yeah, sure. Someone has camped here recently. Usually there's like you can check it or take it or whatever the thing is, or you can skip it, and you can also drag an item to try to use an item with it. And I don't know a ton about this part. From what I could gather, sometimes if you can figure out what to put here, it helps. But there's not really any instructions about what you put where, so you kind of have to guess or maybe learn over time. So let's just go and look inside the tent. Cool.
Leave nothing unchecked. There is much to be found in forgotten places.
Cool, so 1,000 gold, which actually is, I gather, a lot.
An ambush. Send these vermin a message. The rightful owner has returned, and their kind is no longer welcome.
Ooh, so we got shot and took a debuff. Okay, so we've got this big guy, Brigand Bloodletter, 35 HP, so he's actually got more health than either of our guys do. And then Brigand Fusilier in the back, 12 HP. I'd love to take this guy out in the back pretty quickly if we could. So we could use Pistol Shot in the back, ranged, 85% accuracy, minus 25% damage mod, but plus 10% to crit, and it does extra damage if the opponent is marked. And then Tracking Shot, can only use it once, uses remaining 1. Ranged, 95 base accuracy, minus 80% to damage, so it does very little damage. And then I guess but it buffs yourself. Plus 12% damage, plus 6% accuracy, plus 5% to crit. I'd like to take this guy down as fast as possible in the back, so let's try the Pistol Shot. Ooh, nice. Damn, almost got him. Whoa, crap. Okay, 10 damage, and we got knocked back, so that's actually really bad, because we're already a third of the way through our health here. Okay, so we got Smite. I'd like to take this guy out in the back if we can. So Smite wouldn't work, because this big guy takes up 2 spots. Smite, Zealous Accusation again wouldn't work. Stunning Blow. So basically there's nothing we can do to hit in the back. So we could just do a bunch of damage to the front guy. We could protect ourselves and mark ourselves, which I think makes them more likely to attack me, although I'm not sure. And then, or we could try to stun this big guy. So if we tried to stun him, it says he's got a 50% stun resistance down here in the resistance section. So 50-50 we stun him. I think it's worth it. Yes. Okay, cool. That'll help. Okay, so now that we're in the front, actually, we're in a really inconvenient position. We can't attack in the back. We could hit this guy with something that'll bleed him and start the bleed, or we could try to move back and get ourselves back in position. Let's get the bleed going. I think that might be better. I'm not sure. Oh, it didn't work. Oh, I didn't really follow that. I must have missed the bleed, or maybe he resisted the bleed. Okay, well, let's move this guy up, because we definitely need to fix the position here. Oh, he's stacked both. Oof. I guess the one's not too bad, but the minus to dodge is not great. Okay, so he's no longer... The Bloodletter's no longer stoned, but we could take this guy out in the back, or we could Grape Shot Blast. So this would hit all of them. It'll do 3 to 5 damage in the back, which is more than enough it hits, so let's just do that.
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
Corpses. When monsters die, they leave corpses. Corpses act as temporary obstacles and will eventually go away on their own. You can attack corpses to destroy them faster, but often a better approach is to use range skills, push-pull skills, and even corpse-clearing special skills that some heroes possess. Monsters killed with bleed, blight, or crits leave no corpses at all. Alright. So that's not really in our way, I think. So we can just... Let's just start... Yeah, so this guy's got a ton more stun resist now. I guess that's because we stunned him. 90% to stun, because it's plus 40. So we're not going to stun him again. So I think we just start beating him down with our big sword. Ooh. Oh, nice dodge. Okay, cool. So we could try to bleed him again. I think that's our best bet, so let's try to bleed him. There we go, we got the bleed. 2 damage per round. He's only got 10 HP left, so 2 damage per round, which is kind of a lot. He's not resistant to stun anymore, so it's back to 50-50. So I could try to stun him, or we could try to just kill him. If we kill him, it's 6 to 12, so there's a chance we'll kill him, but he probably won't. And if we stun, there's a chance we don't actually succeed at the stun. I'll go for it anyway. Got it. Okay, cool. So that saved us a round of being attacked, and now we should be able to take him out without him doing anything.
Prodigious size alone does not dissuade the sharpened blade.
Cool, so we got some food, we got some gold, a torch. So the torch we could use to buff up the light. We're already down to 70, and you can see now there's that red plus stress. So we're taking more stress because it's getting dark. And then Sacrificial Cauldron, Occultist only rare, plus 50% damage, plus 10% stress. So this is a trinket. Characters equipped 2 trinkets. We'll run into that later. After you've completed the requirements of a quest, you have the option to return to town at any time. Just click the crest. You don't need to return to the starting room of the dungeon to exit. So normally I'd just bounce right out of here, but I think we could check this chest. Something doesn't look quite right with this one. Bandits, trapped, chest. So, okay, let's not check the chest then. That sounds bad. We'll go ahead and go to town. Alright, so tutorial mission, not hard. We picked up 5,000 gold, 1,550 treasure, and then none of these heirlooms, which will explain when we get there. We got some experience for each of them. They actually bumped up to level 1, and then they have this mechanic called traits, I think, or something like that, where you can get good things about your character or bad things. So let's see what we got. Mankind Hater. So this is awesome. Plus 15% damage versus human, and minus 15% stress versus human. So that's super good for an odd. And then Night Owl, plus 2 speed if the torch is below 26. So if it's super dark, dismiss is actually faster. So both good, especially I'm excited about the human one, where that'll come in handy.
Welcome home, such as it is. This squalid hamlet, these corrupted lands, they are yours now, and you are bound to them.
Okay, so this has got a bunch of stuff here. So this is the activity log. It kind of talks about what happened. So Reynard and Dismiss successfully made it to the hamlet. They're now level 1, and the ruins are now unlocked. And then this has this crazy long list of things we're supposed to do. I don't know if we have to do all these things to win. It's kind of why I'm like intimidated by how long this game seems like it is and how hard it's likely to be. But basically, step 1 is successfully complete your first foray into the ruins. So we're going to do that pretty soon. And then like defeat all of these bosses, I guess. and then like succeed in multiple assaults on the darkest dungeon, and then there's also these roster goals. Again, I don't know if you have to do this, but like raise all these different types of characters to level 6. So don't totally know what's going on with those. We're gonna find out. All right, the Hamlet. So get help where you may on any screen in the game. Press and hold H to see contextual help for controls in that mode. Try it while in town, exploring, fighting, camping, and more. Decent chance we're gonna have to use that because I didn't play that much. Okay, so what do we got here? We've got our 2 characters, Renaud and Dismiss, 2 out of 9, so we could have up to 9 people, but we've only got 2. And we can kind of pop into them if we want to check them out, learn what they're up to. We might do that at some part. Actually, just one thing to show, because we were talking about the positions in the battles. This kind of shows you like where, based on their abilities, their best position. So Renaud is like best in the front 2 spots, because basically everything of his works only in the front 2 spots. So that's why you just wouldn't want him back there. And he really can only hit the people in the front 2 spots. So he is meant to be up front, wearing his nice big suit of armor, taking some damage, smacking things with his sword. And then Dismiss is actually kind of in the middle 2 spots, or his dream, because that's where kind of everything of his works. And he kind of, it's like weird, he's kind of best at the number 2 guy, which is almost shocking. I guess open vein he can hit in the front, but that's the only thing, and then everything else hits in the back 3. So you can almost like use anything of his if it's in the middle spot here, the number 2 spot here, and then like generally hits in the back. All right, so gonna go through some of the town here, or at least the ones we have access to, which I think are the ones with the exclamation points over them. So we'll start with the graveyard.
Most will end up here, covered in the poisoned earth, awaiting merciful oblivion.
Isn't that exciting? Most of our guys are gonna die.
In time, you will know the tragic extent of my failings.
So I guess we get to rewatch the cutscenes from here. And like, whoa, there's so many here. Whew. Kind of excited for it. Okay. And then Stagecoach.
Women and men, soldiers and outlaws, fools and corpses. All will find their way to us now that the road is clear.
Cool, so the Stagecoach is your hero lifeblood. You will need to recruit all of these heroes to fill out a party of 4. Drag and drop them into your roster. So cool. Okay, so we have 2 people who I guess showed up in the Stagecoach that we could add to our team. Brickville, the Seeker Plague Doctor, and Baudry, Seeker Vestal. Baudry is probably better. Okay, Stagecoach. Upgrading the Stagecoach increases the available heroes for hire each week or increases your roster size. So we can upgrade the Stagecoach network, increases the number of recruits available for hire. The change will take effect after you return from your next quest. Or the Hero Barracks, increase the size of the hero roster. We've got, these each take 3 scrolls, what are they called? Deeds, and 4 crests. We got 20 and 10 of each. So I'm going to upgrade. So we have space for 9. We're nowhere near there. I'm going to upgrade the network so we get 3 heroes next time we're here rather than 2. Give us a little more options. And we're going to take Brickville.
What better laboratory than the blood-soaked battlefield?
Awesome. And Baudry. I'm going to go with Baudry.
A sister of battle, pious and unrelenting.
And then it suggests we upgrade the Stagecoach network just like we did. So, cool. We did that. Alright, the Stagecoach is empty, so we don't get another crop of heroes until after we do a mission. All this other stuff I think is locked. Yeah, it's locked here. Embark. There isn't much more you can do in town right now. It's time to embark on a quest. Okay, so we're still kind of in tutorial mode. Here we go. Okay.
A mecca of madness and morbidity. Your work begins.
So, quests and parties. This is where you select a quest and form an adventuring party of 4 heroes to embark on it. Click on quests to see their details. Drag heroes into slots at the bottom of the screen to form your party and default party order. Okay, cool. So, this is kind of the basic game. Is like there's a bunch of missions we can go on. We pick what mission we want, and then we have to get through it, hopefully alive, and then we come back to town, recover, upgrade, get more people, and then go back out on a mission. So it's a mission and back in town, a mission back in town. So the 2 options we have now is Darkest Dungeon, which I think is the final mission, level 6, and they're like screaming down here they want to do it, or the Ruins, where they're like, oh, I haven't seen anything bad. So the ruins is level 1 short, so it's a scout mission. Test yourself in the mad realm of your fallen ancestor. Take note of how the creatures have taken over, but don't delve too far. So short sounds good, level 1 sounds good. The goal here is to explore 90% of the rooms. If we do it, we get 3,000 gold, 4 crests, and this protection stone, common trinket, plus 5% protection, but it makes you a little slower. So we're going to do that. We can take 4 people. So we're going to bring out Brickville, and we're going to bring out Baudry. Sometimes you get a cool name for the party. So this one's the usual suspects. And again, this is a tutorial, so I think they just coded that in, made that the standard. So we've got Brickville as the Seeker Plague Doctor. He's really good in the back 2. Plague Grenade he does from the back. Blinding Gas from the back. Both of them attack both of the back positions. Plague Grenade, from what I picked up, does a Blight, which is like a damage over time effect, and the Blinding Gas does a stun. So this seems really powerful to be able to throw and just like stun the back 2. And then he can buff anyone, and he can, I guess, stun, range, disorienting blast, stun, and shuffle. So I guess it moves the enemies around. I never used this one before. And then it also clears all corpses. Okay, so that could be kind of cool, but it does no damage, and it only can throw it in the back. Okay, cool. So that's Brickville. He also has Fear of Unholy. That's not good. Plus 15% stress versus Unholy and less accurate versus Unholy. That seems really bad. But he's better in the Ruins, which is where we're going, plus 15% damage. So that's good. And then Baudry, Seeker Vestal. She's Fated. Chance to turn any miss into a hit. Stress faster, minus 100% food consumed if she's got her stress above 50. And then Technomania, obsessed with killing. That sounds not great. Don't know what that does. Okay, so abilities. Mace Bash. From the front 2 spots, she can hit the front 2 with a mace. Judgment. From the back 2 spots, she can ranged, 80% accuracy, minus 20% damage mod, some crit. She can do damage and heal herself on anyone. So that seems pretty cool. And then this is the big thing. She's a healer. So from the back 2 spots, she can heal anyone for 3 to 5 health. And then from the front 3 spots, she can looks like this is ranged, hit anyone, debuff the target with less dodge, up the torch and do some damage. So she looks like she's almost actually better in the second position here. And Brickville doesn't care, right? He can use his Plague Grenade and his Blinding Gas from either spot, and he can use all of his abilities from either spot. So he's actually better in the far back, and she's actually better in this third position because she can't use her Mace Bass, but she could use Judgment. Well, she could use that in the back too. She can use Divine Grace, she could use that in the back too. But it's this Illumination she could use only if she's in the third position, but not the last position. So this is how we're going to do it. We're going to send them out this way. Oh, party name changed, so actually the order matters. So now they're Red Hook, which is the name of the developer. All right, so we're going to go in. We've got our Crusader up front, Renaud, our Highwayman Dismas second, our Vestal Baudry, and our Plague Doctor Brickville. So here we go.
The cost of preparedness, measured now in gold, later in blood.
Cool, so provision for the journey. You'll want to take different supplies depending on what region you are going to, how long the quest is, and your own preferences, but always bring some food and torches. For your first short quest, try bringing at least 8 food and 4 torches. So we'll do that. That's the recommendation from the tutorial. So we'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 food. Eat to restore health, stave off hunger. Each party member generally consumes 1 unit per meal. It's looking enough for like 2 meals for these people. And then, I forget what it says for torches. Was it 4? I'll bring 6 because I'm a nervous guy. Okay, so 6, increase the light. And then when I was going out in the first couple of missions I tried on my own, I would take a couple shovels because you sometimes use these to get through obstacles which show up, which seems pretty important. And like we've already got a holy water and we've already got an anti-venom. Keys also seemed really useful, so I'll grab a couple of those. And that's kind of it. So I might be missing out on, like, it might be really bad not to have bandages if we end up bleeding or something, but it also costs money, so you're kind of trying to balance what you get and don't get. Ruins. Your first expedition to the ruins of your ancestry. Be curious, be careful. All right, so here we go. Okay, so a much more real map than that tutorial. We've got our crew here. You can already see some of them have stress. Actually, our new folks have 20 stress. I didn't realize that's kind of how that works. So they're more stressed than our veterans, so to speak. Maybe it's because they just don't have the experience. Full torchlight. We're starting in a room, so we're going to head to the first room here. Cool. So there's a free torch here. Salvage the unburned torch.
A handsome reward for a task well performed.
Cool. So actually, the light went down. We're down into stress. I'm going to use a torch here and pump the light back up before we go into this room. Cool. First battle. Okay, so we got 2 bone rabble, 8 HP. Doesn't seem too bad. So we can open vein on one. They've got crazy bleed resist, 200% bleed resist, which makes sense, I guess, because they're skeletons. So there's a chance I'd kill him, but it's not guaranteed. The pistol shot's even less damage, and then the blast. So I can do 3 to 5 to both, so like half to both, or basically get close to killing one. So I'm gonna do the half to both. Close to half. I guess I got on the low end there, which is a bummer. So this guy can only, the Plague Doctor, Brickville, can only really attack the back very well. We could stun this guy in the second position, or we could buff one of us. Let's try stunning. Nice, and it scrambled them, which didn't matter because they're identical, but cool. And then we could either do Judgment for damage or just debuff. I'll do Judgment. Like I'll take some damage on these guys. Let's do the guy who's not stunned. Ooh, nice. Down. So if you saw that light 4 that popped up over her head, so she almost took, she lost stress because she was so proud of herself. So that's awesome. And then yeah, let's just try to knock this guy down. Smite also does bonus damage versus unholy, so that seems particularly good.
Another abomination cleansed from our lands.
Cool. Okay, so got some gold. Open the strong box. So what I gathered from when I was playing through is so. You can't open these, or you can also throw a key in them, and if you do, sometimes you'll find extra stuff. So let's try the key. Oh, crap. Now we just wasted a key. Huh. Cool. Shovel and 4 deeds. So we can use those to upgrade in town. Alright, so let's keep going. Ooh, we were able to see ahead, which is helpful. So we're going to head here no matter what, but we can see there's going to be an obstacle and then a battle on the way. So that's super nice to know.
Even the cold stone seems bent on preventing passage.
So we can clear by hand, which will take considerable effort, ... whatever that means, or we can use the shovel. Cool. And then if we remember from the map, we're going to have a battle right about now, so here we go. Yep. Ooh, we surprised them. So they're going to go... I don't think it stuns them. I think it just means they go at the end of the turn for the first turn. That's still super powerful. So we could try to stun with blinding gas. It'll normally would hit the back too, but there's only one in the back. It's got 94% accuracy. Or we could do this one, which will stun but also shuffle. So let's do that because there's no benefit here to trying to stun for both in the back too, because there's no one in the second position. And which would we rather stun? I think we'd rather stun this person in the back. Looks like a spellcaster. Cultist Acolyte. Cool, and scrambled her, so hopefully that makes it harder for her to do her moves. And then with all 3, I think the Grape Shot Blast would be really powerful. It's like 3 to 5 on all 3, so it's like 12 damage on average. That was 10, so not quite what we were hoping for. And then we'll do Judgment. Let's hammer down this guy in the front.
The wounds of war can be healed, but never hidden.
So we could do this on both, which is like 3 to 7 and 5 to 9, or 6 to 12. So this, we actually only need 3 in the front, and this should do it. So let's do this.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
Okay, so Bump of the Night just does some damage. Okay, so Stressful Incantation just hit us for 20 stress, which is a lot. Let's like try to finish this one up front off.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
And then see if we can stun this one here. Nice. Oh, I guess that also cleared corpses. Okay, so we could do damage up here. We need 5 to kill. This will do 4 to 8, so good chance of just ending it. Or we could heal. Let's like heal our guy up. Play conservatively here. I know this first mission seems pretty easy. It probably is, but good to practice for when it gets harder. Cool. Keep going. Nothing in this room. Alright, so now we can choose which way to go. We've got to clear 90% of the rooms, which like there's not 10, so I don't know if that means we can just do all but one or if we just have to do all of them. Let's head up to the battle first. The torch. The light is fading. The current torch level greatly affects many mechanics in the game. The darker it gets, the harder things get, but the better rewards. Right-click on a torch from inventory to boost the light back up. So yeah, so now we're at more stress, more monster accuracy and damage, more us being surprised, just more chance we're surprised. Still some chance the monsters are surprised, and then more loot. So that seems kind of nice, actually. I guess if we were feeling confident, we could like let this torch go down and like get more benefit from it. Key, gold, food. Nice. That was awesome. Yeah, so we're way down here. I am not confident enough, so I'm going to pump this back up.
As the light gains purchase, spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear.
And maybe after we have a few of these missions under our belt, we'll be able to read how well we're doing and decide if it's worth pumping up the difficulty. Okay. Okay, so we've got these 3. They're all surprised, which is nice. Again, let's try to blast the one in the back and scramble her. That seemed to work well. Nice. And then, grape shot blast, or... yeah, let's do it. Ooh, miss. That's a bummer. Judgment. We can take this one out in the back. 7 damage here. Technically possible I can kill it.
Press this
Yeah.
advantage. Give them no quarter.
Go Badri. Alright, let's try to stun this guy. I don't like the looks of those Wolverine claws, but we're about to get him. 2 plus a bleed, 1 per round, so that's like 5 damage stunned. Let's put a bleed on him.
Confidence surges
nice.
as the enemy crumbles.
Okay, so try to stun her again. There's probably no way we're going to stun her twice, right? Oh, nice. Cool. Okay, so...
Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
It's an awesome phrase. Okay, heirloom chest, chest of family sigil. I am going to still try using a key on these things. There we go. Key unlocks a hidden compartment. Bust, onyx, and anti-venom. So presumably those are better than we would have found if we hadn't done it. Still taking the bleed damage. Oof. Sometimes you can see those, and I don't know if I just missed it or we just couldn't see it. Probably should have bumped up the torch there. Okay, so go over to these 2 or go down here to this cure. Let's go down here. We know there's a battle. We know there's some sort of thing after the battle. Pump the torch up. Oof. Just did it again. Pump the torch up. So there should be a battle here for sure. Okay, 2 of these like soldier guys and 1 arbalist, so 1 crossbow guy. Not very strong. Let me just try to... oh, what a waste. Only 4 damage for trying to hit all 3. I was hoping that would do a... oh my god. 11. Oh, and she's stressed out now. We're gonna heal ourselves. I guess Judgment kind of heals me for not that far off. Maybe I should have done that. Let's try to stun the crossbow guy. And scramble. I think the scramble's really powerful. Oh my god, they're really wailing on her. Her again? Oh, Jesus. Wow, this turned really quickly. Like, now we're at 4 health with our healer. She could die. If she dies, we don't have a healer. There is a mechanic, because I definitely ran into this, where when you get to 0, you don't definitely die. There's like a chance you can barely stay alive and then get hit again and then die, but... so we could have a pretty good chance of knocking this guy just out, so I think I'll do that. Oh, the other one we could do... maybe if we bulwark, they'll be more likely to attack me. Let's do that. See if we can avoid getting them to attack her. That seems really important.
The match is struck. A blazing star is born.
Okay, so... pistol shot tracking. I mean, they're not going to bleed because they're skeletons, right? So the bleed resist is super high. Pistol shot, 3 to 7. Grape shot. It's not going to do anything. Okay, so let's try to take one of these out, or at least hope for the closest we can get. We're not going to be able to kill it. Unless we crit, I guess we could have done. And then... I guess just try to stun again. Try to keep anything from... minimize the chance they attack her. So she can just heal herself for as much as possible. I want to... I mean, this has technically less healing, but some damage, which I guess is better. Okay. Just like, knock this guy out.
Another one.
Boom! Called it. Okay, so basically our only option for doing some damage here is this, even though he's not going to bleed. It's not bad, 9. Well, it wasn't our tank up here, but at least it wasn't her in the back. Can't really hit him anyway. We can buff someone, so let's buff this guy. He's about to get a chance to hit. Judgment. Oh, takes him out to heal. So we're still only up to 10 here, which is pretty bad. Torch, bus.
As victories mount, so too will resistance.
Scouting whistle, Houndmaster only common, plus 30% scouting chance of torch below 51, plus 20% trap disarm chance. That seems pretty good.
A full pack often attracts unwanted attention.
An ornate fountain of holy purport. So what could we put in here? Key doesn't seem like it's going to work. Holy water seems the most... I mean, it's already holy, so let's give it a shot. Yeah! Oh, it healed him. Oh, that's kind of a bummer. We should have, could have had her try it, although, of course, if it had gone backfired and hurt us, we'd be in a bad spot. So we're going to go back to that room we were before. Yeah, because she's so low. It would have been so nice to get that healing on her. Go to the next room. Pack. Nice food. Extreme bandage. So one thing we can do, we've got a lot of food here. You can use food to heal. You also, there's these things called, we'll see them soon, there's things called hunger checks, where basically the group gets hungry, and then if you have the food to feed them, it's fine, and they gain a little health, but if you don't, it's like panic town. So, we still seem to have plenty here. We've got these 8 plus these 4, so 12. Yeah, we've got like 12, so we're almost done with this map. We should be more than fine, so I could heal her up, which is super good. Oh, see, okay, so here's a hunger check. Hunger. The exertions of adventuring have produced a growing hunger amongst the party. I think these are random when they come. So we can either eat 4 food, 1 for each, and gain 5 health, or eat nothing and take 20% damage plus stress damage. So super bad if we did that. Thankfully we have the food. Let's pump the torch up, head in here. Cool, so we're done. Check, there's nothing left in this room to go to. We're in like decent spot, and so I think we could probably just handle the last battle and get some more treasure, so let's go ahead and do it. You know, this might be foolish here, but like now that we healed her up, we're pretty good. I think we have the shovel for this. Yeah, we do. So we should be able to handle one last battle if it's like the ones we just went through. And it's not, because now it's 4 people, which I don't think we've seen before. So at least our Plague Doctor is going to start to come in handy. So we can either do a damage over time on the back 2, or we can blind the back 2 and stun them. So I'll start with stunning. No, that's not good. Oh, I guess we were overconfident, like they said. Okay, so let's do damage and heal, or do damage and debuff. Let's do some damage and heal. This guy, this like, tiny guy, looks really scary. I think most magic-y ones look the most scary to me. Is this enough to kill him? Grape shot. It's like 3 to 5. He has 4 health. Decent chance of killing, so let's do that. Oh, brutal. Maybe this guy can only hit him front, or we could try and tank. Let's try to take one of these out. This guy's got 11. Oh, this one it might. He's only got 8. 7 to 13 damage. Let's do it.
Back to the pit.
Tempting Gothic. 2 damage and 15 stress. Whirl.
Such a terrible assault cannot be left unanswered.
It stressed me too. So he's down to 11 health. Oh, and we just got knocked out of position. Okay, so this is bad. Okay, so this is why next time we're not gonna like just take on a fight for extra treasure. So we could try to stun those 2 again, because we didn't stun them before, so they didn't get a resist. They're only 10%. I mean, we basically just missed, which we have 95% chance to hit. Oh, I guess they have some dodge, so it's a 73% chance to hit 80. So it's actually pretty unlikely that we would miss both, right? Well, maybe it's like 1 random chance. There we go. Okay, that feels a lot better. So now we could move, or we could use our Mace Bash. Let's use our Mace Bash. It's got extra damage on Holy. That healer attack. And then this might be able to knock this guy out. 3 to 5, he's only got 1 left, so like we'll take him out, plus do a little damage on this guy. Oh, I guess plus we do damage to the corpse. Nice dodge, clutch. Okay, here we go. Goodbye.
Decimated.
We could Plague Grenade, so do started damage over time. So 4 per, so it's huge. 4 per 3 rounds is 12 if we didn't do anything else. I mean, we'll kill him before that, hopefully, but pistol shot. Boom. Yeah, there's that 4. Oh, so we can't torch, we can only torch the front 2, got it. But we could Illumination, which will do half damage, add some torchlight, and then also hurt his dodge. That's good enough to kill him. Cool, okay, so we did get some stuff here.
Momentum.
Like, totally wasn't worth it. I mean, we survived it, so I guess it was worth it, but, okay, we got some gold, we got this onyx, and then we got some crests, and then we got this journal, which we don't have room for. We're about to use the key. We don't need the shovel anymore, so we could just throw the shovel away. Shift click to discard. It's only worth 25 gold, I guess, when we go back in. We definitely paid more than that for it. Journal. A snippet from a doomed exposition, so this is going to be inspiring. Blood-soaked pages torn from a journal, number 5 of 6. The others are gone. They were victims of a malevolent transformation. Their scales had rotted to soft, vulnerable flesh, solely suffocating without gills. The worst was their eyes, close set and forced to squint through fleshy slits. I shudder recalling the horrific and unclean warmth of their blood as I rinsed my talons. I nearly retched. May death grant them soft mercy. So that's charming. Alright, let's go ahead and open this. We're definitely going to use the key again. I think this is the same description we had on the one that worked. Yep. So, busts, portraits, nowhere to put them, crests. Okay, so we need to make space for the portrait. Just like, use the torch here.
In Radiance, may we find victory.
Cool. Alright, let's get out of here. Alright, so that's like a typical mission. At least I did like 4 missions, so I'm not exactly an expert. But okay, so we got the 3,000 gold, plus we picked up 4680 worth of treasure. think they basically just like sell everything that we have. So we sell our bandages back. We sell these like jewels we picked up. They're actually pretty good. It's like $12.50 there. Sell those herbs back. More gold, all the gold we picked up, and then even the food. And then heirlooms. We got 8 busts, 1 portrait. Oh, there's a bunch of the busts. Some deeds, 4 deeds, and then a bunch of crests. So super good. All right, so Baudry and Brickville are now level 1, so everyone's level 1, and we got some traits here. So let's see if they're good or bad. Beast Hater. That's awesome. Warren Scrounger. More scouting chance in Warren's great. Oh, Thanatophobia. Plus 20% stress if HP below 50%. Alright. Upon returning to the hamlet, be sure to check your activity log.
Our estate was the envy of this land.
Severe negative quirks. Over time, some negative quirks will lock into place and become severe. Severe negative quirks cost much more to remove in the sanitarium. So I think we're going to be able to remove some quirks in the sanitarium, I guess. But I guess they can like lock in if we don't deal with them. Alright, so first quest done. We completed our first foray into the ruins. We just have this list to finish. Alright, week 2. So, yeah. Baudry and Brickville got to level up. And then the Tavern and the Abbey are now available. So we'll check each of those out. We'll start with the Tavern.
Fresh kegs, cards, and curtained rooms promise solace to the weary and broken alike.
Stress relief. Heroes relieve stress by taking part in activities at the Tavern and Abbey. Each activity has different side effects. Experiment to find the best activity for each hero, depending on their quirks. Committing a hero to an activity locks them in that activity until the next week. You'll have to take a different hero with you on your next quest. Cool. So we've got some folks with stress here. Baudry has the most, but Brickville, Dismiss, and Reynald all have some. So we could throw one of them. We won't do this just yet, but just to show you, we could throw one of them. Well, we might do it, but we're just not going to decide right now. Throw Baudry here in the bar, spend 1,000 gold, which seems like a lot, and then she'd lose some stress. We could throw her in the gambling hall, but the caretaker decided to gamble himself. Or we could throw Baudry into the brothel, which is even more expensive, but removes more stress. And then it's similar up here in the Abbey.
The cobwebs have been dusted, the pews set straight. The Abbey calls to the faithful.
So here the options are meditation, praying, or flagellation. So we could throw her in here again for 1,500. We'll come back to that. So let's see who showed up this week. We got a new mission, so new stagecoach. Cool, okay, so we've got space for 9, so I think we're just going to take everyone, but to go through and check them out here. So we've got another Vestal. Different set of skills. So because there's a bunch of skills, you can have different mixes, and then different abilities. So Grentum Misnil is a bad gambler, could lose money while gambling, and a Warren Scrounger. And then we still got healing, but this one has a party heal, which seems like it could be really helpful, just to like slightly heal everyone. Baudry doesn't have that, but we don't. Grentum, man, I'm gonna have to learn how to say this. Grentum Misnil doesn't have the Mace Bash or the Judgment. But has Illumination, and then also has Hand of Light, which is half damage, extra damage versus Unholy, debuffs to lower their damage and their accuracy. So kind of just like if you're up front, makes one of the front 2 weaker and does some damage. So we'll go ahead and take her.
A sister of battle, pious and unrelenting.
And then Gresslet is an Arbalist. So Backtracker, no stress penalty when walking backwards. Dark Temptation, prone to investigating the dark arts, and Egomania, obsessed with self-worship. It's like, what do these mean, right? Best from the back 2. So Sniper Shot does a lot of damage versus 1, especially if they're marked. Suppressing Fire, hit the back 3, not that much damage, but make them less accurate. That sounds actually kind of useful. Sniper's Mark a target in the back 3, don't do any damage, and debuff them. So, okay, so you Sniper's Mark, and then you snipe them. Cool, that's kind of a cool idea. And then Blind Fire. Hit a random target for slightly less damage. So what would be the advantage of... I guess you buff yourself to be faster next time? it's not clear why you would use this. I mean, I guess you could hit anyone, and this one can only hit the back 3, so if like there's only one left, you could use it. Or I guess if you, I mean, you stack these so you become faster and faster. I don't know how important that is. All right, Gresslet, welcome to the group.
Shoot, bandage, and pillage. The dancing steps of war.
Then Lucelle, Seeker Hellion. Likes to be right on up front. Warren's Adventurer, that's good. Increased chance of winning while gambling, that's good. Diurnal, -2 speed if torch below 26. We're going to try to avoid getting it to be that dark, so that's not too bad. Wicked Hack, first 2 positions, just do a ton of damage to someone in the front. Iron Swan, do a ton of damage to someone in the back. Yop. Stun the front 2, that's super cool. That's powerful. Although make yourself weaker. Interesting. Debuff self. And then Breakthrough. Move forward. So, okay, so this helps you move up towards the front. If you, for some reason, not in the front. Do some damage to the front 3. Actually, it's not bad. It's half damage to everyone in the front 3 spots, but you do debuff yourself. So she's got these abilities that, like, do good things, but then make her weaker for the rest of the battle. Not sure how useful that is. Go ahead and take Lucelle, because, again, we got the space.
Barbaric rage and unrelenting savagery make for a powerful ally.
Cool. Alright, so given that we did get another healer, I think we should try to help Baudry relax. So, she seems kind of like more of the praying type. Given that I think she's a religious, I assume Vestal's, given the robe, is religious in some way. Just have her do some praying. So 1250, it's expensive. And then the idea here is she's out for the week, so we can't actually use her on the next mission. Okay, so let's figure out what we want to go on. I think everyone else is kind of fine. I mean, Brickfill... Actually, you know what? I take that back. We should... yeah, let's also get Brickfill some treatment here. Fear of Unholy... Okay, so nothing related to what options we have for treating him. So let's just throw him into meditation here. Okay, so next mission... Now we got a lot of options. Okay, cool. So I guess we're still going back to the ruins for sure. We could go, this is a short apprentice mission. This is a medium apprentice mission. Medium mission, medium mission, medium mission. I don't love the idea about doing a medium mission. I just don't think we're ready for that. So I think that means we're gonna do another short. It's a very similar mission. This time we'll get a Lock of Patience for the Abomination, which we don't have one. Some deeds and some gold, but we'll keep it short. We'll, you know, make sure we know what we're doing before we take on something too strong. We get to pick who to bring here, so we can mix it up a little. I think we definitely want to bring a healer. Although this one's a little less... Well, still useful with the party heal, so we'll try to put her in the second to last position, because then she could also use Illumination. Grentemesnil. Grant. We'll just call her Grant for short. So we'll throw her right here, and then I think, so we could either put, well, we can't really put, if we put Lucille up front, we're just gonna have to bump one of these two, or we could take our Arbalist, who loves being in the back. So that's a pretty easy call. So this is the group we'll take out. We now have some trinkets, I think that's this one. But this is only for a Houndmaster, so can't use that. This one we could use. This one's an Oculus, which we don't have keys. So we could use the Protection Stone on someone, which we should. Our Reynold, he's kind of our tank up here. He sits up front, and ideally he's the one they hit, although they seem to love going for our healer. So just throw that on and make him a little bit slower. But he should have a little more protection, so that seems like a good trade-off. Okay, so we're going to take Reynold, our Crusader, Dismiss, our Highwayman, Grent, our new healer, and Gresslet, our new Arbalist. And we'll do this, the one short mission available in the ruin. So that's what we're going to do when we come back next time. I'm going to try to do one mission each episode and then get ready for the next. I saw a couple other folks on YouTube were doing that. It seemed to work well. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Thanks for watching. Again, if you want to have one of the characters we pick up recruit in the future be you, just go ahead and drop your name in the comments or whatever name you want, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.